Hello and welcome to another edition of the Movie Kit podcast. I'm your host, Kit Bowen, and we've got a great show for you today. We're going to review the latest Godzilla Kong movie, Godzilla X Con, right? Is that X Con? Is that how we say it?
Yes, I think so.
The New Empire, right? The New Empire, Godzilla. Hold on, of course. Godzilla X Con, the New Empire. It's the latest in this franchise series, which I guess started with Godzilla, and then it was Kong Skull Island, and then it was Godzilla versus Kong, and now they have to work together. Here's a quick recap. Two ancient titans, Godzilla and Kong, clash in an epic battle as humans unravel their intertwined origins and connect to Skull Island's mysteries. Well, that's kind of very vague, isn't it? Sorta.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it stars Godzilla and Kong. I mean, really, there isn't anybody else you really need to pay attention to. However, the humans involved, returning would be Rebecca Hall and Brian Tyree Henry, and also Kaylee Hoddle. I think that was from the Kong versus Godzilla. Newcomers are Dan Stevens, who is always great, Rachel House, and a few others. But I'll let you start us off, of course, as always, Joel. What did you think of Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire?
Um, the headline is I really had a blast. The thing is that the wider headline is I had no that movie has no business being as fun as it is. Like the dialogue is really leaves a lot to be desired, but you're not going to a Kong movie or a Kong movie expecting great dialogue, but like it's good, it's serviceable, it moves the plot along. But just I don't know, it's just the way I think the director Adam Wingard, weaved it all together and the way he did the action sequences and we talked about this the last time when it was Godzilla versus Kong.
Right.
Um, that and that wasn't Adam Wingard, but he like the way they execute the fight sequences or the action scenes, like the people of the Transformers really need to take notes
Mhm.
because the whole thing is like, well, these things are super big and they move quickly, and it's hard for the audiences to know who's who and what's what. And that was always a big complaint with Transformers, but like the last Godzilla film did it amazingly. And so again, they did it here too. So you kind of have this connection with these characters, quote unquote. I guess they're characters. I don't mean to put quotes around them, but you get a connection with them. And so when they're fighting, you can really tell, what the stakes
Yes.
are, and that makes a huge difference
Huge
when
difference.
when you're dealing with a movie like this, whatever it is. And so if you're just, two robots rolling around fighting each other and you can't tell, who's good and who's bad, I mean, what's the point? You're wasting 10, 15 minutes of my time during a movie a couple of times. And so that's really huge. And just again, I had fun, and um, it's kind of like why we go see popcorn movies, and this is definitely a popcorn movie. And I kind of feel like in a way it's really early, but I feel like it kind of feels like it starts kicking off summer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had way more fun than I think than what the movie was supposed to be. I did. I was First of all, I have to qualify that I love Kong. I mean, he has always been a favorite of mine. I mean, all the King Kong movies, they make me cry every single time. Um, but putting him into this universe, he gets his due. He gets to be the hero that I love so much. And I really thought I mean, he's the standout character in this film. I mean, you know, Godzilla versus Kong, it was kind of a sort of a cross between the two of them, really. But this one, it's Kong's movie, man. It's Kong's movie. We're just all living in it. We're just experiencing it because they've got him now in Hollow Earth, which, by the way, boy, Earth is a very multi-layered place, isn't it? We
Oh,
got
sure is.
subterranean realms and upside down skies and whatever the case is. Yeah, all of the Hollow Worlds, which I guess, and we talked about this too, how we both really love the Apple series, the Monarch
Mhm.
Legacies or whatever it's called. with Kurt Russell, and that kind of introduced all of this is where all the Titans are coming from, this hollow
Hmm.
Earth, and there's points on Earth, on the surface of the planet, where they can break through and come out, and that's how Kong comes out, that's how Godzilla gets out, and and in Godzilla too, I mean, he also is a hero in his own right. He definitely wants to take down all the Titans, and I guess I don't want to give too much away, but where where Godzilla ends up resting is very funny to me, right?
Yeah,
Where he curls
that
up,
is.
goes to sleep for a little bit of time. We won't
Yeah,
tell you
take a
where he
nap.
is, but it's pretty funny, guys. Um, yeah, I was just having a ball with this, and and it's so funny you brought up Transformers because I thought of the same damn thing when I was watching this. It was like, yes, it's big, it's loud, and they destroy all kinds of stuff, and it's like, can't you just step around a building? Yeah, you have to step on the building, Godzilla.
Mm.
But uh, you could see who was fighting who. And when you get down to the nitty-gritty of it and why Kong and Godzilla have to work together to sort of defeat this other sort of bad Titan thing. And there is a surprise Titan that comes into it at the end as well. That everyone's going to absolutely lose their minds over
Freak.
if you love the whole kaiju thing. Um, Yes, and I was thinking, and Transformer, you never know who's fighting who. They all look the same, and you couldn't figure it out. And even in the Pacific Rim movies too,
Hmm.
there was too much of a blending, and you couldn't figure out. And it always bugged me, and it made the Transformer movies specifically just kind of tedious to me. You know, I was like,
Unwatchable.
yeah, it's like I almost fell asleep in one, even though it was so loud. It's like,
Hmm.
it's kind of lulling. But
Well,
the thing is,
you're not bringing us in.
right, you're not. And you know why I think this works so well is because of Khan, because he's a giant ape, so he is kind of he's got facial expressions, he's got emotion.
Yes.
He's got all of that going on, and when he ends up discovering in another sort of sub realm of the Hollow Earth, and he's very excited about it. It's like he's because he's such a solitary, lonely figure, but it's not really that's not his thing. He likes to be social. He wants to be with of his kind, and that was always sort of a sad part to it, was that he was the last of his kind, and poor guy's just sitting around, just looking out, I wish I had a buddy. Anyway, so it's there's some parts to it that are just that just grabs me, that draws me in immediately. So then when the big battle starts coming out, you're like, here he comes, bam, and it was just fun. It was fun, fun, fun. But yeah, the the human part of it was pretty weak, in my opinion, and kind of dumb. And you started to roll your eyes, except for, I mean, the little girl who came from Skull Island, and now she's what, like 13 or something. She was about 8 or 9 in that movie, and now she's older. Her trying to find her way as well, and her connection to Khan. I mean, that was sweet. I thought that was sweet. And Rebecca Hall, God bless her, she can bring she's a good actress.
Oh yeah.
She can really bring anything, some gravitas to anything that she does. Dan Stevens too, I love him. He's the newbie in this, and he plays kind of a what, like a hippie sort of renegade veterinarian who ends up helping Khan out for a bit of time. And that was all cool too. I mean, all of that. And then Khan's like, yeah, and he's throwing his hand, he's throwing his fist up into the air. That's, has this sort of mechanical thing on it. I don't know. I really, for me, it was about Khan, and he's the one who made this movie for me. So, and it looked spectacular. That's the thing about these movies now compared to what they were back in the day, and how, just how they bring these sort of beloved characters in this universe to life, and in such a visual way. I thought visually it was great. So yeah, I really did. I had a great time with this. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree about the people, and I just Dan Stevens to me, that guy, I was so happy for him that he was
I
able
know.
to get into like a big budget movie and honestly get paid. That guy is so good and he's been at it for over a decade now. And um, he and Adam Wingard are connected.
Ah,
He directed The Guest, and Dan
oh,
Stevens was the
right.
guest.
That's
And
such a good
that's where I
movie.
first, what, 10 years ago, I think it was 2014.
Wow.
Um, and he like I remember Dan Stevens just like, who is this guy after
Yeah.
watching this movie, and also who is this director, and now they're back together here, and several things like Wingard knows how to direct characters, and even
Yes.
what little kind of dialogue and stuff we get with the people, he makes the most of it. And two, there's a clear connection he has with Dan Stevens, and
Yeah.
I just really thought that the two of them was really just kind of having a blast doing this. And three, the rumors are really swirling, and I don't like the answer, but I still think Dan Stevens should be the next Bond, and
Mm.
apparently they've offered the part to somebody else, and I really don't like that idea. But what are you gonna do?
Well, speaking of who the person that they offered it to, or that we've heard has been offered it, is Aaron
Hmm.
Taylor Johnson, who was in the first Godzilla movie.
Yes,
So there's,
yes. I
I don't know.
yeah.
I think there's so many people that could step into that role. I think for the longest time, I think we both have talked about it. Idris Elba would have been perfect for it. I think he's definitely not going to do that. And maybe he was the one who said no, I don't know, but he would have been perfect. And it would have been an interesting, redo of that character, I think. But
Yeah, and it's just it's just true. Like timing is everything. I mean,
yeah,
10 years ago that he would have owned that thing.
yeah,
But they clearly want to go young. And like I said earlier on a different one or podcast that I think that they should have done a one-off with him, like right now, like they did with Sean Connery with
yeah,
Never Say Never Again. Like he could be an older Bond, but I mean he's probably got 20 years on how old Connery was during that movie, and just do
yeah.
a one-off with Ibra and make everybody happy because everybody wants to see that. Um, but anyway, yeah, Aaron, I mean, and again, I wasn't so sure Michael Keaton would get great Batman, and now I kind of think he's probably the
The better
best. If
one. Yeah.
you know,
Well,
I mean, not the
there's
best, but he's up there.
yeah, I think Christian
And
Bale probably is
yeah,
the top of it.
yeah, well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Number one, I think Keaton's maybe two. Then again, Will Arnett in animated form is phenomenal. So you gotta, I mean, maybe put him at number one with an asterisk or something. I don't know. That's apples and oranges, really. But anyway, yeah, back to the point at hand. Dan Stevens, I thought, like you said, Rebecca, they're all game. And, uh, I've been watching a bunch of the interviews since I got home, and, a lot of them are talking about how they really mastered the art of appearing opposite a tennis ball. And I know a lot of people have had to do that. And, um, it's just, they bought into it, and it's not necessarily an easy thing to do.
No.
And so that's what they had to do at the minimum. They just had to not take us out of the movie by looking in different places or not reacting right, and they did their part.
Yeah.
So the humans did their part, but they're not they're
They're
not in the
really not the
title.
draw. No.
No.
They're not at all. And look, the ultimate premise of these is that there are bigger, badder, meaner, more, more more what's the word I'm thinking of? Uh Titans out there that who definitely want ill towards the world, so or that they don't care about the world, they don't care about anybody. So, the idea of this story and this film, how they end up confronting other Titans that, are even worse than before kind of thing, makes sense, like the story didn't bother me enough or even the dialogue or whatever. It didn't bother me enough that I didn't enjoy it because and look, Adam Wingard also knows where his bread is buttered because I mean the majority of this film is fights with Khan and Godzilla and mostly Khan and you know I that's all you want. That's all you want. And
That's
this
why he gets the glove.
yeah, I mean, I would give this a solid. I mean, honestly, I would give it 4 stars just because I had the best time and I was just laughing and rooting and cheering and going, "Yeah, you get him," the whole time. So, I mean, I'd give it 4 stars. How about you?
Yeah, I'd go 4 stars too. And I think that, like I said earlier, I feel like we still have a few weeks till we really get going, but it just really reminded me, like I feel every year at this time, summer movies are coming, and
Yep.
just kind of feel like this is a movie that just, it didn't just open the door. I mean, those guys kicked down the door. And that's
It's
the thing is, I think we are all critics that can, you know, understand that, we're not going into this to see the next Oscar nominated screenplay, as long as it services what we're here for, I'm fine.
yeah,
And I've been reading a lot of Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like, do you guys, read the
like
room, read the room. Like that I think that's part of the job of the critic that some people miss. That, people that love Godzilla and love Kong are going to be reading these reviews before or after they go. And like, if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you don't. Um, and the other thing I wanted to bring up is that I know you've heard us talk about Monarch on Apple a lot. And the thing is, like, I think it helped me greatly. Not helped me, but it made me more of a fan going in than I was before, even though I really like both of these characters. You don't have to see it before seeing this movie, but I also highly recommend you see it after. Like, I think
yes,
it'll enhance the experience in the rear view. Um,
100%.
so you're not hindered by not seeing it, and to watch all 8 episodes before going to see it this weekend or next week is not really next a thing that people can do. So go see Godzilla, Kong, and then dive into Monarch. And you won't be lost in either way.
Yeah, you won't. No. But they all seamlessly seem to work together,
Mhm.
even if the characters and some are not in the other, but yeah, I agree with you totally. I found a new I gained a newfound respect for the franchise after watching Apple
Well, the
TV.
whole world, that whole world really just it brought it home for me. The
Yep.
show, it just really did. And
Explains Monarch as a as a
mhm,
corporation. It had the human qualities to it with, starting with how Godzilla uh
mhm,
attacked San Francisco, and then, so then you've got the aftermath of that, and then following Godzilla around, but then also going back in time to when we
yes.
know how Godzilla was first appeared, right? From the Japanese
Mhm.
film. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's you don't necessarily have to watch it before you see this one, but you definitely should try to if you guys are into the franchise as much as we are, then you're gonna really enjoy Monarchy Legacy of Monsters is what it's called.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's also like, I don't want to say it's the opposite of this because it's more complimentary, but it's like in the series, like the characters are really rich
yes.
and they get to use so much, and you're with these characters over time, and there's a father-son dynamic that I don't want to spoil, even though I think it's probably out there. Um, I don't know. It's just
It is.
uh,
It's much out of all of them, obviously, it's the most well-rounded and also best written. And look, the action in it is not necessarily, first and foremost. Then that's why I think it works as a series because, you really do get that time to, be involved with the characters, the human characters, and then you get these,
mhm.
big action sequences.
Really, yeah, yeah.
But
So
this is all
anyway.
about the action. Sorry.
No, no, no. It works, and
And it
like I
works.
said, it works both ways. See the show, go to the
Yep.
movie, see the movie, go to the show. It doesn't matter.
It's
Either way,
true.
you're gonna have good.
A good vibes. Yeah.
Mhm.
But man, I love Khan. I mean, talk about a real Planet of the Apes. Here we go. This is it.
Yeah, right.
I just love
Please,
him. He just
Planet
he
of the
does. He's
Apes.
grabbed my heart always. Always. And whoever do you know if they did a motion captured thing for this or did
I
they
don't think. I think it was completely CG.
just CG? Okay.
That's what some critics actually were complaining. That are like, there's entire swaths of this film that is nothing but done on a computer. I'm like, so
But what?
So is the most recent Disney movie you just saw. You didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's a stupid complaint. I mean, that's what this
Well,
movie's all about. Oh my Lord,
that's
whatever.
Have you never seen a big budget movie before? Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's dumb. And you're right. Critics do tend to get into too self-involved. And I think that critics like you and I, who are actual real fans,
Mm-hmm.
of films, that's why summer is so exciting for us because we are willing to suspend our disbelief to the nth degree, depending on whatever it is. I don't, sequels, reboots, whatever it is, I'm gonna give it a shot because I'm a big blockbuster type lover. I love those films. And then there are those critics who hate these kind of movies and they have to just wade through it until they get to the fall and and then
Hmm.
the Oscar season and then they can, oh, this one and that one. And those are all great too. I'm absolutely I can shift my my perspective
Hmm.
from being a
Well, I mean,
lover of the big blockbusters to to analyzing and appreciating well-made, films that are going to get nominated for Oscars, right?
right, right. Well, I just leave you with this. This says it all right here. Um, Rotten Tomatoes has this movie at 53%. The audience score using the same metrics,
Yep.
93%.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
This
mean,
is
40
not a
points
critics movie,
higher.
guys. This is not a critics
You,
movie.
you
This is
knew that going in.
this is a movie for you to eat your popcorn, drink your Coke, have your candy, and just watch Kong and Godzilla just get on. I mean, just get
Mm,
on the screen and fight and win.
take care of business.
Take care of business. Yeah. It's great. It's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
good
I
times.
actually really like this one even more than I liked the Ghostbusters movie, which you didn't really like
Yo,
at all,
yeah, yeah,
but that's, that's what I'm saying. We're starting to inch closer and closer into
yeah,
the
yeah.
summer season. So
It's
yay.
coming.
So what is next? Oh, Monkey Man, I think is the big
Yeah,
movie out next week, which was
I really want to see that.
yeah, me too. I
I
got my
love,
for it.
I love Mr. Patel.
I do. Dev Patel, it's his directorial
Yeah,
debut.
and
Uh,
he stars.
and
Looks great.
stars in a film, I guess, that's based on a Indian myth or Indian legend.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I love that. It's
I'm all
produced
there.
by Jordan Peele. Got that stamp behind
Hmm.
it as well. So yeah, really looking forward to that. So yay, we'll talk about that one next week. But in the meantime, everyone definitely go see Godzilla and Godzilla Plus, Godzilla X
Yeah,
Kong.
yes,
They don't have to like each other. What? Go ahead, say it, Joel.
but they got to work together.
I love it. All right. And again, thanks, Joel. And you can check out all of Joel's reviews on his website, themoviemensch.com. Thanks again, Joel. And we'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye bye.